Welcome back to Quilt Remix, where we take a vintage pattern and give it a modern twist. I'm Kelly Bowser, and today I'm here with my really good friend in real life, Angela Pingel. Hi, Angela.
Hi.
Thank you for coming. I begged. I'm not ashamed. I begged her to come.
Oh, it was my pleasure to come. I was so happy that I could finally say yes and get here.
Well,
work it into the busy schedules.
Right. So I talk to Angela almost every day. No joke. That's not an exaggeration at all. So I know all about her, but tell everybody else a little bit about you.
Well, I am a fabric lover. I'll just start with that. So I think that's where we all bond, is our love of fabric. And I've taken that and I've done some online quilt classes. I have a book, Quilter's Mixology. I have a fabric line with Wyndham, Curious Dream.
Which I love.
Thank
I love.
you.
It's inspired by Alice in Wonderland, guys. And I got to see pictures and like the process, like while she was designing this. It was like really neat to kind of see the behind the scenes process and kind of like the heartbreak when certain things get cut.
Yes, Kelly had favorite prints that didn't make it in, so I keep promising her that I'll try to make it into the future lines.
Future lines. I'm counting on certain prints to be back there. So, but yeah, she's super successful. Books, classes.
Please. This girl.
Yeah, we're each other's PR team.
Right.
We call each
Fan
other.
clubs.
Yeah, exactly. So today, Angela is here with me to talk about our remix versions of this beautiful Martha Washington star quilt by the ever-talented Liz Porter. Try not to be intimidated by doing something
not at all
that Liz made. And this quilt is going to be in the Love of Quilting July-August 2017 issue. Mm-hmm. So for my inspiration, when I saw the picture of this quilt, it was lying on a bed. It wasn't the full shot, so I couldn't see the entire quilt. And all I kind of saw was like orange, and it just automatically reminded me of Halloween. It was, and I don't make a lot of themed quilts. I don't know about you. I don't do a lot of like holiday or themed quilts.
Getting into it.
You're getting into it. Okay.
I've done some Christmas.
So I thought it was a good way to challenge myself to like make a Halloween themed quilt. And so what I took from the inspiration quilt was the color, and then I noticed all the blocks set on point.
Right.
So I was like, I want to do something on point, and I want to do it Halloween, but I kind of didn't know where I was going to go from there. And again, because the picture was only partial, it almost looked like a quarter log cabin to me, and with the borders and everything. So that's where I started from, was kind of on point, and the idea of maybe doing like a log cabin or something with borders. And this one was very organic for me. I just sort of put stuff up on my design wall as I went, and kind of added to it as I went along, and it kind of developed.
And you were calling me actually.
I
the
was.
whole time she was doing this, so I saw each border go up and which fabric to do.
I would text her pictures. I'm like, what do you think about this one? What do you think about this one? And I was like raiding my stash trying to find like just the right print to go next.
Yes.
And so when Angela decided to come do the show.
I'll interrupt. I totally take credit for her outside border or fabric. I told her to do that.
I had the fabric. I just didn't have enough for a border. But when I held it up to the edge, she was like, that's it. You need to order that fabric for the border. So it might be a little bit of a team effort here for my quilt. So Angela, tell us a bit about your quilt, because then when you found out after I'd already made mine that she was going to come and do this quilt, so she already knew what mine looked like. So we decided to go with the theme of Halloween.
Right. And that was actually really fun for me because, as you said, doing theme quilts is not always what we get to do as quilters. It's kind of a fun thing to do, and I really was excited to use some of my stash fabric that I've had. And so I pulled this older line from Alexander Henry called Ghastlies, which I'll show you guys later, but you can see behind me if you're familiar. And I was super excited to be able to design sort of around that fabric, but also with the same ideas that Kelly talked about, doing a Halloween quilt inspired by these colors, doing things that were set on point, and then doing things that just broke it up and made it interesting and different from Kelly's quilt, because I knew what Kelly had done, and I knew, but we have very different styles.
Yes, very
still,
different.
And so I needed to make it very much an Angela quilt.
Yeah. It's a good thing to have, though, quilting friends that are have a completely different taste than you, because sometimes they'll see something that you want and be able to like help guide you sometimes in a design process or when you're selecting fabrics. It's always good.
But even just knowing what fabrics you used was really helpful, so I could avoid them.
Right.
Because what happens is there are a finite amount of themed fabrics, especially when you're going for Halloween. You might have more for Christmas and some other holidays. But so we might be drawn to some of the same fabrics, and so you might see a little overlap between the two of us, but for the most part, we really tried to keep different palettes.
Right. And you started with the Ghastlies, which is great to use
Right.
fabric from your stash that you've hoarded for a while, and you're like, what am I going to do with this? I love it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And you really like made a quilt based on this fabric that you've had for a long time.
Right, and I was so excited to have the opportunity to finally use that fabric and design my own pattern for it, which is ultimately what I needed to push myself to use it, because it was one of those precious fabrics that I didn't want to cut into.
Like, I don't want to, what if I mess it up?
I know,
like,
I can't get it anymore.
Totally. Well, thank you so much, Angela, and join us next time where I will be showing how I pieced my version of the Martha Washington Star quilt.
This episode of Quilt Remix Vintage Pattern Modern Twist is brought to you by Baby Lock, for the love of sewing. Tin Lizzie 18, your affordable long arm quilters. Inganero, because fabric should be fun. Madeira, color your life. Aliso Smart Irons, fabric care reinvented for you. And Quilters Select, made specifically for quilters. Furniture for Quilt Remix was provided by Koala, fine sewing furniture custom built for you.